Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered will have way more NPCs thanks to PS5 specs. Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster adding significantly more NPCs to make towns feel more alive on top of other improvements. The remaster's co-developer Nixxes stepped into the spotlight on the PlayStation blog to highlight a number of improvements we'll see in the remaster, including the addition of lots of new NPCs. The post breaks down a number of updates to the game, perhaps the most notable of which is that Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered will significantly boost the number of non-player characters. This doesn't mean more quests or story, but it does mean that villages and camps will have more folks just wandering around, attending to their business. Brian Van Nunen, senior technical game designer at Nixxes, offered more details and what I find to be a delightful example of this. Building the game for PS5 allowed us to leverage the increased amount of memory available, enabling us to significantly boost the number of non-player characters, Van Nunen wrote. We added many more places for NPCs to stand, sit, work, and fulfill their needs. We gave them more varied schedules to increase movement and liveliness in different areas. We also tried to make creative use of existing animations. More NPCs isn't the only change players will see. The blog also goes into detail about how foliage is being overhauled to be more dense, realistic, and closer to the original concept art. Terrain, too, is being updated, including snow and sand that actually moves as it's disturbed. This was a feature in the Frozen Wilds expansion, but in the remaster we'll see it elsewhere. One of the big improvements going from the original Zero Dawn to its sequel, Horizon Forbidden West, was just how the developers were able to utilize PS5 versus PS4. So there was a lot more activity in cities, with people mulling about and getting in Aloy's way as she walked around. These details have become more important as open-world games get larger, so it's nice to see Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered looking to compete. To make NPCs feel even more lifelike, Nixxes also made changes to skin tones, hair quality, and outfits, which were carried over from Forbidden West. This also applies to Aloy, who got the full peach fuzz treatment. Nixxes senior technical artist Mark Baselmans also delved into more details surrounding how much new dialogue and mocap was added, and how the team took on that endeavor. There was over 10 hours of new mocap recorded by Guerrilla, which made up about 2,500 new mocap files for Nixxes to process. Baselmans said Nixxes developed a tool in Python to process them and replace the original files. Our tool referenced the characters and imported the dialogue audio so the animators could time the movement better and create the camera cuts and layout, Baselmans wrote. Animator Alexander Georgiev added that one of the obstacles involved matching heights and build with the surrounding space. We made small, automated scripts to fix shoulders and arms clipping. All these tools gave the animators a way to focus more on enhancing the acting of the characters to support what they want to say, Georgiev said. In addition to these improvements, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered benefits from 10 additional hours of motion capture data for various characters, which Nixxes says will make conversations seem livelier and closer to those in Forbidden West. Mark Baselmans, senior technical artist, has a really fascinating explanation for how all this data was incorporated into the massive game. Horizon Zero Dawn has almost 300 conversations and well over 3,100 dialogue options, so we needed to find a way to easily integrate this huge number of updated animations into the conversations, he said. We created a tool with Python to process the almost 2,500 mocap files that Guerrilla provided to replace the original animation in the conversations, removing deprecated events and replacing those with the mocap and setup. We then focused on creating a pipeline in Maya for our animators to easily load, edit, and re-export the individual mocap files for any other edits that were needed, such as finger animation, art direction feedback, and fixes. Animators could select the conversation and subsequent dialogue option from a list which created the scene from scratch, or simply opened it if it already existed. Our tool referenced the characters and imported the dialogue audio so the animators could time the movement better and create the camera cuts and layout. Later, we extended this pipeline to also include existing animations for both conversations and cinematics, as some of these also required edits. Our animators could then go into Guerrilla's Decima engine and edit or change the updated conversation. And there's more. The blog post goes over details to how lighting was improved, both world and cinematic, and how character models were updated to have more detail to hair, skin, and outfits. Aloy has peach fuzz, and apparently you can see it. And while before only Aloy would react to the environment and weather, now both her and her companions will react when it's too hot or cold.